In this video, we will go over the red section labeled Scenes. This is where you create the HTML files that make up your project. The first icon is the scene icon. In order for you to create a scene, the designer needs to know which project you are creating it for. To do this, you must highlight a project in the tree on the left before clicking the icon. If you don't have a project highlighted, it will let you know that you must select one first. Once you have selected your project, you can create a new scene and give it a name. Remember from the last video that your file names need to be in lowercase. There are many ways to organize your files. When you create a scene, it will have a small icon next to it in red with an S in the center. Likewise, when you create an overlay, it will be blue with an O in the center. Generally, we like to keep the scene names as simple as possible by using single words such as audio, cable TV, etc. They are easy to find in the list as overlay names tend to be longer. In any event, you can experiment with naming conventions and do what makes sense for you. If at any time you would like to rename a file, you can highlight it in the tree, right-click and select Rename. After you have created your scene, you will see a new row of icons at the top, just below the project and scene name. These icons are what you will use to work with in order to save, refresh, set properties, copy and paste, etc. When your new scene appears, it should have the background that you chose during project creation. Either a color or image. For now, I will exit the file by clicking the first icon of an arrow pointing towards an open door. The next icon in the red section at the top is the overlay icon. Overlays are files that get added to a scene. Sometimes they always appear on a scene, and sometimes they are pop-ups that appear when you click on something. We will go over working with overlays in a separate video. Overlays are created the same way as scenes. Highlight a project, click the icon and give it a name. For organization, we sometimes put the word overlay in front, but only to have them all grouped together. It is not necessary to do it this way. Always do what makes sense to you. Once you have created your overlay, you will see a bright blue background. This helps you to remember that you are working in an overlay and not a scene. The next icon is the launch icon. When you have created your scene and want to see what it looks like in a browser, click this icon. A separate browser window will appear. This is valuable in seeing how things on your scene will look within the space. You can make adjustments back in the designer as needed. The last icon in the scene section is Components. This icon toggles a selection of web components from the right side of the application. These components are used to create your scenes and overlays. The general use components are the ones that you will be working with. All the other components are specific purpose and will not typically be used in your projects. Thank you for viewing this tutorial. Next up will be the Assets Search section.